Hi, Linda Bowen here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. I hope you're joining us from our Creative Inking blog hub as we're showcasing our favorite bundle in the January through June mini catalog. Of course, my favorite bundle is the Friends Are Like Seashells. This is a bundle that I am featuring this month as my customer appreciation stamp set and bundle. The card that I'm sharing today is not part of that PDF tutorial, but it is a fun card technique. It's called Split Card Technique, and it was shared with me by a downline member, Lee. So again, my favorite bundle is the Friends Are Like Family. It has the matching die cut for the big stamp, and then also has the 3D folder. I don't know how well you can see that. And then there's this iridescent specialty paper that is in that suite. Love it. And then designer series paper, of course, with shells. Now I have taken the iridescent specialty paper and I have die cut and used the embossing folder, and then I used my blends for this technique. Now I showed you last week how I used my sponge brushes to color in, but today's seashells I used my blending pens and I just absolutely love them. I do have a piece of the Blushing Bride, and I believe this gray is Smoky Slate. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a piece of the designer series paper, and if I remember right, this measures 5 inches, 5¼ inches by 8 inches. And what I'm going to do is, you can draw a pencil line, but because this paper has a pattern on it, I have found it easier to make a score line. So we're going to score this piece in half. So again, it was 8 inches, and we're just going to make a score line so we can see where the center of that piece is. Now this technique works wonderful for big stamps like this one. I'm going to bring in my Tombow ink, and I'm going to add some ink onto those shells. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put this on the designer series paper right at that score line. So right down the center. And you want to make sure that you give that glue a second to dry. Now I did not glue down my seaweed, but we'll take those little pieces and use them for something else. Now I could use my personal trimmer, and I think maybe I will. I'm just going to turn this on the back side and line it up with that score line. I just used that score line so that you could see where the center of that piece is. We're going to pull that apart, and what happens is you have a split card technique. So we have both of those shells, but then they're split apart so we can design 2 separate cards with it. Now I am going to go ahead and go in to another big piece, and I am going to trim that die off, the shells off the big die, so that I can use the individual shell to place on top. Since there's only really 2 shells showing and I want 3, so I'm just going to maybe lay that shell like so. I'm going to grab some dimensionals so that I can pop it up. Now you can use bits and pieces of another die cut to get more seaweed or whatever. So I've got that. I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab my stamp set that says Friends Are the Seashells are like seashells. You collect them along the way. So we're going to stamp that right on that Designer Series paper. This Designer Series paper is pretty because it has a print on one side but a solid image on the back side. We're going to grab that piece of gray and add our Designer Series paper to that. And then I've got a piece of Blushing Bride, and we're just going to create our card. Now again, we have another card from the other part of that split technique that looks totally different because it has more of the yellow in it. We're going to go ahead and lay that on our card. You want to head over to my blog, stampingwithlynda.com, and check out the other great bundles we are featuring in our blog hop. We've got that. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of our opal rounds. This is part of the suite that this bundle is with. The opals just add a little texture to that. Here is more cards using the very same technique, but different colors. So we've got the blue. Apologize for Sweetie barking. The neighbor dog has just gone out, so she's got to let her know that she's emboss. Here's those matte black because I layered this card with the black. Here's yet another one with a different pattern from that Designer Series paper. So lots of fun cards using the split card technique. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.